Actually, I feel this question is very much related to today's times. They are ever evolving and changing times in the field of education. So I feel a lot of there is.
This is a real challenge, and we are actually facing day to day. Because when we talk again about 21st century, the skills are different.
Teaching was earlier centered around delivering information. But in 2026, the role of a teacher has expanded far beyond textbooks and blackboards. Today's classrooms demand digital fluency, emotional intelligence, adaptability, and the ability to prepare students for a world that is changing faster than ever. So the question is, are our teachers truly equipped for 21st century classrooms, or are they being left behind by the pace of change? Good afternoon and a warm welcome. You're watching Education News Network. I'm your host Nitya Krishnamurthy, and today we're discussing, are teachers prepared for 21st century classrooms or being left behind? To explore this important topic, we have two school principals with us today. Joining us first is Ms. Vidya UR, the principal of BGS National Public School, Banarghatta, Bangalore. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
We also have Dr. Madhumita Roy Chaudhary, Head of School at Edify World School, Whitefield, Bangalore. We welcome you, ma'am, and thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
To discuss our topic, I'd first like to invite Ms. Vidya UR. Ma'am, do you think teacher training programs in India are truly aligned with 21st century skills like critical thinking, creativity, and emotional intelligence, or are they still rooted in outdated methods?
Yeah, actually, I feel this question is very much related to today's times. They are ever evolving and changing times in the field of education. So I feel a lot of there is NEP has come into being in the year 2020 and it has gotten a lot of changes. But along with that, when the implementation actually happens in the school, I feel there is a lot of gaps. Majorly when you're talking about the 4 C's, as you mentioned. So I feel there are a lot of gaps when it comes to the implementation. So certainly professional development of the teachers are very, very essential because they form a very essential part of this to bridge this gap. So that is my opinion.
Dr. Madhumita, coming to you, with AI tools, digital platforms, and hybrid learning becoming the norm, how prepared are teachers in Indian schools to integrate technology meaningfully and not just use it?
Yeah, very, very relevant and practical question. We have seen during COVID pandemic, automatically the entire teaching fraternity has become tech savvy. They didn't have a choice. Without the training, they have become tech savvy. But the 21st century skill, 21st century classroom demands more than digital thing. What they demand? They demand creativity. They demand critical thinking. They demand engagement in the classroom. So the learning of digital methods are happening, but whether it is integrated properly to imbibe these skills into the classroom, that is a question. So that remains always a question. But what I think that the entire teaching fraternity is very inclined towards that. Nobody has any resistance towards that. But as a leader, as a school, we should make sure that the training, teachers' training is there. We should make sure that the leaders or the academic hierarchy, they observe the class so that it doesn't become a smart it doesn't become a smart class with a smart board. It should be an engaging class. That is what it is. And I'm sure that with proper training and all, it will be definitely coming to a point when the digital integration will take place to inculcate the 21st century skills in the students.
So, an engaging and interactive class is the real smart class.
It is the real smart class, what I meant to say.
Right, thank you for that. Ms. Vidya, how can school leaders bridge the gap between experienced educators who may resist change and younger educators who are more tech savvy but less classroom tested?
See, as an academic head or the principal of a school, I feel it's very essential that we play a role here to bridge the gap between, see, experienced teacher may bring in a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience will and can give in a lot of inputs. But whereas the younger generation who are more tech savvy, they may not have the classroom, experience as the experienced teachers. So when we collaborate these two, it is more of collaboration rather than showing one is above the other. See, the experienced teachers may not be that tech savvy, and the tech savvy teacher, the younger tech savvy teacher may not be that very experienced in classroom handling. So when these two come together, I feel more than you know the ego clashes or one above the other. I feel the best is to collaborate, and for that they have to. It can happen only with peer learning. They need to learn from each other, and lot of pilot projects where they present something and these people learn, and the experienced teachers present and they learn from it. So I feel it can be only collaborative, and the resistance, as you said, the resistance will so slowly disappear and it will become more collaborative, and that is how we can take this forward, because it's all about a team. We cannot survive alone. So it is all about teamwork, and I feel they experience the wisdom there, and with the technological advances only can meet together and take things forward.
So collaboration is
Yes,
key, whether
is the
it's
key.
between educators or between educators and parents.
Yes,
It's very important.
yes.
Right. So, Dr. Madhumita, beyond academics, today's classrooms demand inclusion, mental health awareness, and personalized learning. So, are teachers equipped to handle these multidimensional roles?
This is a real challenge, and we are actually facing day to day. Because when we talk again about 21st century, the skills are different. The classroom 20-25 years back were different. The students were expected to sit, and the teachers were expected to deliver the content. Now it is completely changed. Now teachers role will be a multitasker. They should be a psychologist, they should be a content giver, they should be a facilitator, all these things. But it theoretically they should do, but actually there is a challenge in the classroom of 30 kids. If you have different types of kids, those who have, some have emotional problem, some have learning difficulties, so that is there, that challenge is there. But how to deal with the challenge? We cannot stop. And as per NEP 2023, they say that inclusion is a must in school. We cannot avoid. So we have to, as school management, as school leader, we have to give a proper training to the teachers how to identify the kids. Because the teachers are not the doctors, teachers are not the psychologists. What they have to do, they have to have a compassionate mind, and they have to identify the kids. And the school should have a proper physical resources, human resources, who can actually guide the kids. So the environment should be in such a way, there should be a different setup with the psychologist. Teachers will be the player who will be identifying the problem of the kids, or who will be having far beyond that, and psychologist hand in hand they should work, so that at the realistic scenario is, if we start a session with this model, at the end of the year all the students should be included in the proper class. I think that is what is required.
Right, I agree. So, Ms. Vidya, with increasing emphasis on assessments and board exam results in India, do teachers actually have the freedom to experiment with 21st century teaching methods, or are they constrained?
they are constrained to a great extent, I can tell you, because of the rising demand of the coaching centers, let me tell you. And the kind of the parents' expectation where everybody has to be on the top. Okay, so I feel that has been a great influence on the parents' mindset, where they want all their children to be driven into those kind of courses. And what happens at the end of the day, I feel whatever changes we want to bring through the pedagogical aspects, or with AI, or with any other methodologies, uh, still remain, I feel we are not able to do full justice to it. I feel still it remains a challenge, because first of all, people have to come in, the mindset of people have to change. We are changing many things here. We have borrowed a lot of things from international syllabus, and we are trying to implement. NEP has done that. They have borrowed a lot of things from international curriculum, and they have integrated it. But how much are we able to do is a question. And are we doing justice? I would say no. We can do justice if our expectations come down, because each kid is unique and everybody are made differently unique. So I feel not everybody flocking in one path will not certainly help. And surely this is an hindrance for, because portions completions, results, all this comes in the way of the change in the shift.
Correct.
Yes, so I feel it remains a challenge.
So when we talk about Indian assessment system and the learner's profile, there should be a connect. Indian assessment system still is pen and paper marks, but the learner's profile, we expect creativity, we expect project based learning. How do we do it? How do we match it in 45 minutes of class? If I have to complete the syllabus, if I have to know that, I think as you correctly
Correct.
pointed out, if I know that I have to finish the syllabus, the child has to get 90%, and we don't have to think of
See, our
anything
Indian
else.
mindset is
So,
still there. See,
in assessment. So,
correct.
from the grassroots, if the assessment is totally scrapped, if the board exam will be given a problem and students should be
No,
solving
see,
the problem.
today, of course, it is more competency based and skill based.
Yes.
See, international system always emphasized on it. Today, CBSE
CBSE also.
and other boards also are insisting, our Indian boards. So when they insist on it, I feel everything should match. The quality of teachers, yes, the infrastructure, the professional development, and see, all these are interconnected. See, one cannot do without the other. So when they all come into place, certainly I feel the exams, the children, more than rote mugging, they will actually apply. See, it is only understanding, applying, then creating. Then the creativity comes in a picture. Then you can see a lot of changes happening. This should be everywhere, from the classroom till the child writes the exam. Even the question paper has to be framed in such a way where it has more of competency and skill based question. Of course, CBSE is doing that now. Before it was 30-70, now it has become 70-30. So I'm very happy it is heading towards that. But there are a lot of gaps which needs to be bridged.
Gradually it can be, of course, gradually
Takes time.
it will be. It takes time. It just has risen, as I have told, the wave has risen.
CBSE is bringing so many changes that people are unable to keep abreast with, what's happening. Suddenly, every day there is new things coming up. But are we equipped for that? That changes. So that is a question.
Another thing is, we have in India 1.5 million schools. And we are the city school. We are in Silicon Valley or tier 1 city. But you think of the tier 3 village. They don't even know what is creativity. So if that CBSE cannot do, we do. So there is there is a lot of gap. So all these things, the administrative bureaucrats who are making all this, they should look into that. But when the thought has come, I am very happy. One time or the other, it's going to be changed.
See, the think tanks are doing it from their end. But when it comes to the practicality, it should happen. So that's it.
Right. So now we've spoken about the challenge. So Dr. Madhumata, I'd like to ask you, what steps can schools take to upskill teachers without overwhelming them or adding to the burnout?
Yes, that's the actual. I mean, I can say the real question to be talked, as Ms. Vidya correctly said, that there are lot of pressure. 21st century generation skills, academic progress, syllabus completion, assessment marks, parent satisfaction. So all 360-degree pressures are there. So we cannot come out of this change because the wave of change has risen and the ripple effect will be there. It will take time. What I think that as a school leader, me as a school leader, and all the school management, I would like to say that they should empathize that. Gone are those days where out of 40 classes, maybe Monday to Friday, we cannot just dump the teachers with the classes, 35 classes. When do they plan? When do we train? This other point we really, as school leaders, as school management, we need to look forward, we need to think of. And I think CBSE has already started continuous development. That's very important. It's not that before the class they prepare and then they go. There should be a continuous development. In a week's plan, there should be some micro teaching by the academic hierarchy. There should be lot of training program in the school and of course outside the school. That way the management should empower the teachers, because an empty cup cannot pour the creativity to the students. So teachers should be empowered, and that responsibility comes to us, the school leaders and the school management. And I'm very positive about that. If it happens, India is going to be at the top very no in near future. There's a not far.
With that, we come to the end of this panel discussion. Thank you both for sharing your perspectives and experiences.
Thank you.
One thing that's clear from today's conversation is that transforming education is not only about changing curriculum or technology, but also about empowering those at the center of learning, our teachers. It thus becomes the duty of schools to ensure that educators are supported, upskilled, and prepared not just to keep up with change, but to lead it confidently. Thank you for watching Education News Network. For more such discussions and education updates, do visit our channel, theenn.com, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. For now, signing off, this is Nitya Krishnamurthy.